Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and want to see more. Coming up, Rugby League Federation of Ghana introduces the Origins Cup, and we have news, reports, and also interviews from participants in Match 2. So, an introduction to the game series. I know I've done a previous conversation in regards to who made the squad for each of the teams, but we don't know much about you don't know much about the format unless you're playing in it. Like any Origin series, it's a 3-game series, all being played out on venue, and that's the University of Ghana in Accra, the capital city, Ghana. They have had to move from the first pitch that they played on, as last week's pitch was waterlogged, completely and utterly unusable due to a torrential downpour, a bad one, during Game 1. A Game 1 situation that completely washed out the opportunity to do live recording, internet down and things like that at the game. So just to give you an idea of what happened, the game went the way of Team Green, as Team Giwa-McNeil won 8-0 over Team Safi. Team Giwa-McNeil's try scorer was Emmanuel Kofi, who we see in the green to your left. It was a block washout and mistakes galore, but there was a man and a match in the game, and that was the two try scorer. So, as we've looked into this little bit of, let's go into the teams. So here are the starting lineups for Origin 2 of the Origins Cup in Ghana. And first of all, on Team Safi, Team Yellow, Adu Sarpong starts in the front row for Mohamed Al Hassan in the only change to the starting lineup for Team Yellow, with Clever Noto making the subs bench in place of Edom Akwete. Both the players replace each other on the reserves and also the substitutes bench. Now on to the green team, Team Giwa-McNeil, and there is a big shock on the green side, as 2-try hero Emmanuel Kofi has been dropped to the bench for this game, and Bernard Armour comes in as his replacement, with him switching wings and Desmond Alete going on to the right wing. Idrisu Suleiman starts at the 5'8" positions for Colin Ofasu, who goes to the sub bench, and Benjamin Anane is the preferred choice at prop, as Kwesi Akumura drops from the starting lineup to the reserve bench. We have a good first half, to be honest, and the scoring was only troubled. First 7 minutes, first 5 minutes, as Team Green were offside at the play of the ball, in front, not far from their own stakes. So Team Yellow decided to go for 2, and Daro Amote adds the conversion to give the lead to Team Yellow, and he'll win 2-0 lead. But going up the other end, the Greens started to push a bit more. Their go forward was settling in, and they were creating more and more yardage just to get back onto the play. And on the 10th minute, a high tackle on the Team Green player right in front of the posts of Yellow added the opportunity for Team McNeil to equalise the scoring. It did so. So it was a bit bitty after this. Bits of fumbling, a bit of errors and things like that. And from one of the such errors that we come up to is straight from the kickoff, from the penalty, the ball is allowed to trickle out by the greens, so that they have to give out a dropout to give back possession to the yellows. In the resulting set, though, the relieving pressure came for the relief of pressure as a high tackle was committed and a penalty was to Team Yellow from Safi. But a couple of penalties off the back of that set came for Team Yellow that marched them further and further down the line, down towards their opponent's try line. And after a last side play, Team Yellow reached the last and they decide to run it. And Daryl Amate runs at the defence to Jonathan Adote, and he powers over left of the posts. Amate adds the 2 to take the scores out to 8.2. During this point, after this, there was more and more mistakes, unfortunately, and it got into a bit of a grind. No one really coming up with defensive plays to create try scoring positions. It was just scrum after scrum. And we've reached half time with the score still at 8 points to 2. So we go into the second half and it seems like game is starting to come alive as Team Green's Kwesi Boateng is seeing more of the ball and he's excellent carrying the ball as he gets yardage after the tackle. And it seems like one that Green should build off, and it comes to fruition as the goal forward from Team Green draws in a penalty committed by Team Yellow. Unfortunately, it was for a high shot, and the referee had no choice but to give 10 minutes to Cleland Atto and sin binned him with the yellow card. Team Green make sure that this man advantage pays dividends as Captain Pullman scores from close range. The ball is worked from right to left, and Team Yellow believe that they have held the Green's captain up, but the referee, after a short time thinking about the decision, gives the try and makes the score 6-8. But John Bless Mensa adds the 2 to tie the scores up to 8-all, and going into early the second half. The man advantage doesn't seem to come a bit more to the fore after this because of errors and mistakes. Both teams not really getting their bits and pieces together as they popped in at 8-all. Would have thought that with the possession, keep hold of the ball, get into goal field position and then add the plays. But mistakes were creeping in for both sides, unfortunately, and due to this, it slowed the game down quite a lot, so no one could get into a proper roll on. But on the 62nd minute, great play by Team Green down the right hand side in their own half, finds their centre Eco, who finds himself in a bit of space, breaking down the line towards the Team Yellow half. He is gleefully tackled by Team Yellow as he coughs up the ball in some desperation of defence. Great defensive effort by Team Yellow, but some great play for Team Green to get themselves up the pitch. Should have brought some momentum back to the game. Actually, another slow scrum caused the game to be slowed down a bit more, so momentum gathered. Just unfortunate. But now back to the full complement of players. kick to the in goal while in great field position by Team Yellow. Takes a big bounce that is chased down by William Pearce-Binney, the fullback. And while attempting to bring the ball under his control, is being challenged by a Team Green defender, which dislodges the ball, making knock-on for Team Yellow and a scrum again for Team Green. There's a bit of a stoppage as the two chasers are hurt in this, and the Team Green player has to go off due to a bit of an injury. Team Yellow are starting to get the most field position out of the two teams, but errors keep creeping in when it comes to the final ball. And because of this not making pay, Team Yellow are desperate to slow down the game a little bit as Team Green are getting a bit of a foothold. And a deliberate attack on the ball, causing the ball to be dislodged by Daryl Omate. It means that he's simbing for a professional foul. Nothing came from it from Team Green due to handling it. And they almost make it pay as Yellow go attack their right hand edge, the left side of the Team Green defence, and they've worked an overlap with their fullback joining the line once more. And a couple of passes later, the ball is passed out to their winger, Hakeem Shugri, but unfortunately the ball is behind him and he knocks on, trying to gather that ball. It was the best bit of play of the half, it's other than the try, but it was the best play that Team Yellow had with ball in hand. Team Yellow are not playing like 12 men as they're getting more structure and better field position as the game is coming to an end. And despite the final pass in scoring, it's knocked on again, and a perfect position so that they can see him from right in the post. I'm shouting at this point, one, drop goal, anything. They can't hear me in Ghana, but I'm trying my hardest to will that through because they are getting the best position. And on my opinion, have had the better game and deserve to win. Fortunately, the game peters out, and with no golden point extra timer at place, the game finishes 8-8. So it's just one of those games that had a bit of an error fest and was a bit slow due to scrums and referee decisions taking time, but otherwise an enjoyable game. Both teams came to play and they played. Just needs that little structure, a bit more confidence and composure. That's it. And I would tell you, Team Yellow would have. So these games are basically representative trial games, actual ones, which the origin in Australia was meant to be. These games are competitive enough to get players ready for international tournaments and games and things like that. And there is a lot of players there that have potential to do well at the next level up, international on the regional scale, going against Nigeria, Morocco, Cameroon and the other lights. But this is Origin, we're not going that far ahead yet, so I'm going to tell you who my man of the match is. And it was quite simple. Quasi Boateng. He was the main goal forward for the Team Green all the way through the game, and something that they needed to build off. Didn't quite come off for Green, but it stands them in good stead for game 3, so well done Quasi Boateng. So after the game, I was fortunate enough to speak to 2 of the gladiators for the game. On my left, on your left, should I say, is Riddick Nana Aliba, playing for Team Yellow, and on the right, Jonas Morcar, who played for Team Green in both games so far. And first of all, we had a quick chat with Riddick, and what he said was, came into the game wanting to set the tone for how we wanted to play, and that was to keep the scoreboard rolling, causing pressure on the Greens, and to give us a boost after last week's nil scoreline. So when we had the opportunity to add 2, it was a good decision, aiming to give us poise while in the lead. Unfortunately, this did not last long as we gave away the penalty for them to square up the game, so we were back to square one. We were very fortunate with some good field position as, for the second time in the game, we got the ball back as the ball was allowed to bounce by the Greens from our kickoff. This allowed Daryl to run a good angle to set up Jonathan for his try as we found that good field position. We were joyous at half time, not just because of the score, but because of how good the team played. And we were ready to do the same in the second half. We had our coach's words in our ears for the second half. Stick to our play in the first half. Minimise the errors and try opening the game up. The Greens came at us hard though in the second half. Kwesi Boateng of Team Green in particular, which drew us into a penalty with Atto Cleland being sin-binned. It was a blow, but we were not too disappointed as the Greens goal forward was getting their rewards, and got a try off the back of that effort. After this, we went back to how we played in the first half, with errors, and we tried to get back into a rhythm with some great edge play, and we're getting on the attack, but the second sin binning put paid to our momentum for a moment, and we got some back as we headed towards the end of the game. But our unhandling errors took the game out of our hands and we had to settle for a draw. We welcomed back some players for the third game like Nigel Saki and Desmond Giotra. Plus, if Jonathan Adote repeats his performance of game 2, we can win the game and the series. So that was a great conversation that I had with Riddick Ali Bar, and he was gracious enough to let me ask a few questions about the game, and I've spoken to him over the last couple of weeks, so thank you very much for doing that. And after I finished my conversation with the captain of the Yellows, I spoke to Jonas Morcar, who went on to comment on his team's efforts during this game. So the Team Green halfback said, "We went into the game with thoughts of improving on our performance from last week, and we have been working on training throughout the lead up to the game on completing attacking sets and moving the ball through our backs quicker and having our forwards to set the platform for our go forward. We were confident in how we wanted to play, but as they say, all plans go out the window when you're punched in the face. The kickoff was a weird one due to the ball not being taken and we were forced to drop out from under our sticks. Not the best starts to say the least, and when it happened again, we already had our backs against the wall. We were looking a bit down at half time by being behind 8 points to 2, and our coaches asked us to reduce our mistakes and work with the ball more through the backs, as we could not be as predictable as we have been. Our mantra was to complete sets, and we were not doing that, and we needed to improve that side of our game. As well as we were doing in defence, we also agreed that we needed to improve a little, but a bit more. For the Yellows try, I do feel it was well worked as they pinpointed the little man on the line, which they used their best player in this attack. Jonathan Adote had the momentum to barge over the line and score the first try of the game. And any other day, I would have applauded the try for its simple ingenuity. It's unfortunate that the small man that they picked out was me. It left me hoping for a last minute teammate intervention, but sadly none came. Our try though came at a good time for us, as we had they had a man in the bin, which gave us some momentum. We scored an almost identical try to the Yellows. Oliver Pullman, our captain, forced his way over when we moved the ball across the line. The Yellows thought it was held up, but the referee took his time and gave the decision our way. We did really well in the second half. And we won that second half. We now go into the game with great motivation that we can win the series. Yes, we will have to go back and work on our set plays again, and also expect the Yellows to come at us, as a win for us or another draw will mean the series is going to be intense. So tune in. So it's been a good series so far, as they have been close games. Yes, it's 1-0 to Team Green in the series, but it's all to play for still. It's still intriguing. If Team Yellow and Team Sape win by 9 points or more, then the series is theirs too. So it's, as I keep saying, it's all to play for, and it's going to be live again on Facebook next Sunday the 19th. So tune in, it'll be fun. And give the boys some love and support, mate, because they want to grow the game. They're growing the game in Africa. It also helps them identify players in the proper sense for the international side, as that's what these sort of games is initially supposed to do: identify players good enough to play in an international team. So yeah, good. But that's it for another video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember, like, subscribe and share the video worldwide. Share. But in the meantime, stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.